So, what's up, guys? So, on this particular episode, I did mention that I was going to play the audio of the person who was informing people about this entire thing before we all knew about it. And so, Aslimo had sent me this audio. I'm gonna play it. I did mention also where to find it in the first video. So, if you haven't seen that, check the pinned comment, and you will have where to get the source of where to find the video online. And so, if you don't know what we're talking about a situation of which is being named Limpopo vampires. If you search for that on Facebook right now, you might actually even see pictures of the lady. I'm just not going to display it because these platforms are very, very strict on showing things, bloody pictures and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna go straight to play the audio, and I'll try and translate. Morning.
Hona fungo khelo hufima vipai olava to osika ma vi apai olava to osika ndiko to zivona paka tulamela huko fima vipai osika salema akisika.
So she's talking about, she's just seen this and they are saying these vampires have come to Limpopo and stuff. Now, I'll state my thoughts on this aspects as I mentioned earlier on as we go.
Salema hapa hachikundu. Hufi bajena anepo hachikundu ba wana mtu achikuchimbira.
So this being found someone, so they came to this area. They are not known in the area, or she didn't know them. And when they came, they found this person, a random person that they didn't know, they didn't have an issue with, and they just attacked the person and they bit their lips. The person screamed. People so when people came to help, because the lady screamed, it didn't stop this person. This person continued biting this other person and even sucking the blood, just very. So they bit the other person and they killed him. That's what she said. So it sounds like it wasn't one person.
No, ofedzapo ambodisika mtititi. Achisikapo mtititi, ufi akova ulamuna na msadzi. Achivola muna na msadzi apo mtititi, asika mudini. Awana mkeguro zrafasi, ambodisika. Evya kisika ko mkeguro ambodimu toma kamuromo. Mkeguro vachivea mukosi, vachiyowendi afa.
So the picture of the granny, she says this person started this somewhere else and then they went to this other area called Mtititi, and then there this person might have killed other people. And she says husband and wife. I'm not understanding that particular part. Is that the person killed two other individuals and then went on to this place where this granny, where he attacked this granny. Okay, so it's the granny who survived. And so that's the picture you will see on the thumbnail and on the previous video's thumbnail. And so the granny screamed, people came to help. So they took the person, mob justice. Okay, they beat the person, whatnot. And after they had beat the person, they were tired. One person took a stone and and hit him. That's how they defeated the person. He didn't stop. So it sounds a bit like demon possession.
ndikoriyo we mapungo kheyo we hupfi uyasvibava mavhipai ola vathu osvika hachikundu hanefha na mutititi hafa mutititi zvikoiteya ngasvonda yangati 26 ngasvonda zvino vovuraya vaviri hava vamwe voshava zviyambori hoyo wafa chikundu voshava vaviri hoyo wafa hamutititi ndi mutii vomuvuraya.
Okay, so in one other area there was 2 and then they ran away, and then the one in this area who attacked the granny, that one was killed.
zvino rikoriyo we hufuna mavhipai ola vathu osvika hupfi atoula hatunakuti atoshenga thomanga mulomo na zvino hapa kachifanyiswa pachatolamela hofanyiswa vamwe munhu voliwa mulomo ngavo.
So then she says in another picture from this area, it's a man who's also been bitten on his mouth. So the picture that we saw was a granny. So it sounds like there's another person who was attacked, also bit on the mouth.
vathu vanepa pagiyana yapo hupfi muthu atodza ndikombera madhi vatomuvona vasamudhivi kha vadhivhalile vadikhinechere hupfi.
So they gain access back, going into people's houses and asking for water, and then that's how they end up attacking the person.
paya unokola vathu hezvi sofofuna vathu vonokoliwa pfi vosvika pachikundu vosvika nahafa mutititi lokishini hanepa zvikaita yanga 26 dzasvonda inoyoperawo ndokori vathu we khari phalalane ara vathu vasakovana vathu vasangosokoima hupfi vatoula vachitsonzva maroho.
So she's describing the vampire nature of this entire thing. Now, as I stated, mental illness, you could say so. Cult in Limpopo has been growing in that aspect. There's been a lot of young people who've been embroiled into certain cults and stuff like that. I remember one particular other person was on television, I think a Moja Love show or something, and they mentioned that there was a church that they were in, and in this church they would actually it was a church during the day, and at night it would start dealing in funny devious behaviors where they'll be sucking blood. If I can remember that particular episode, I'll bring it and I'll play it for you. And so this has been growing down there, the Guyana area, the Limpopo, just the Sebasa area, down there, it's been growing. There's been very dubious cases. People fall. There was one particular story where a person fell in church while they were praying for them. Okay? They were praying for this person. The person fell. Poof, gone. He died. It ended like that. No investigation. And this is the thing that will piss you off about certain areas down there in the village. Someone will die. It will just end in thin air, as if nothing ever happened. And so I wanted to come back here with the first episode first before I come here and break down what was she saying in that audio, in case you saw it but you were not sure or you didn't hear. I wanted to bring down the first part first so that you can understand the landscape of some of the things that are going on down there, so that you don't treat it as if it's like an isolated case. Okay? And so in my view, this is nothing separate. And she says in one area there were 2 of them, they ran away, and then in this area that other one was killed. Sounds demonically possessed there in the way that they are describing it. You know, cults also do initiate people by getting them to do very horrendous crimes and stuff. And so, yeah, be on the lookout, and also don't be overly alarmed. Yeah, don't be overly alarmed. Of course, you stay alert. Don't be overly alarmed to a point where it makes you incapable of living your life. Okay, yeah, just don't be ignorant of everyday people that you meet and stuff. It's very dubious behaviors out here. Okay? And so the first episode is very key to understanding this particular episode. If you haven't watched that video, you have to watch that video so that it can explain. I don't want to have to repeat some of the things that I've mentioned on that previous episode. So this is the vampire story that's going on in Limpopo. It's guys, whether they're in a cult, because if it was, if it was just one isolated case and it wasn't on almost the same period, this happened just right now, May, ending of May, all of them roughly the same period. For me, this sounds very much cult behavior. Unless maybe they bring us reports, tell us who the young man was. And sometimes this is the thing again. These people will be initiated from one particular area and then they will go somewhere else to commit their heinous crimes. Okay, it's much like criminals when you are in the areas of like CBDs and all these places. It's always criminals that come from outside that come to create the dubious behavior. And so even in this case, I wouldn't be shocked to hear that that's the case, because looking at the fact that it sounds like they don't even know some of these guys. And so you find it's cult behavior, looking at the fact that it's not one incident. The person, when they are there supposedly fulfilling their goal, they are almost in possession mode. They can't be got. For me, sounds like cult behavior. And this stuff has been happening. That's why I say you'll have to watch the first episode that I made. It'll be down in the pinned comments. Be very watchful. There's a lot of behavior. And some of them, pastors, prophets, all kinds of things that are going on. It's just that sometimes, we end up dealing with the bigger stories and then we end up not having time to actually get into this particular sides of the stories. It's Ricky. Hope this video finds you well. There's other stories that actually attach to this. But on this one, I wanted to kind of break it down so that you can understand what was being said in that audio. The first episode, which breaks down what's been happening with all these cults and stuff, check the pinned comments and you'll find it down there.